Good evening, good evening. Welcome again to Momentum Chat. I am Majida Bay,
And I am John Epstein.
and we're going to have a great show tonight. Today's show is brought to you by the letter E.
E.
So, hey, make sure you like it. We're doing a series called The ABCs of Wealth. This is week 5. So, we're going to be talking about earning and education. All right. So, tell a friend, like this, share the post, and we'll be getting started in just a moment. Good evening once again. I am Majida Bay, your financial conductor. I help parents and professionals get on the right financial track and become someone both their parents and children can be proud of. And I'm joined as always by my co host, mentor, friend, coach, Mr. John Epting Jr., senior financial broker, husband, father, man of
Husband.
God. Yes. How are you today, John?
I'm incredible. I'm incredible. It's been a good day. It's not as good as that I wanted it to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know me, if you've ever called my phone, my voicemail says, "Hey, have a great day," but that's up to you. And
Yeah.
it hasn't been as great as I could have made it. Sometimes you have some things beyond your control. So my mother was actually supposed to be in town with us,
Oh.
but due to some unforeseen circumstances, we had to postpone her trip. And today's her birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Mom.
Oh my gosh! So Miss Dorothy Epstein, if you get to watch this, wish you a very happy birthday. You are, man, the original Wonder Woman, as far as I'm concerned. My wife is taking up your throne a little bit, but you are the original Wonder Woman. Thank you for raising 9 children. I have no idea how you and my dad did that, but
That is awesome. And we're gonna be celebrating a lot of birthdays this month.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. My parents have birthdays in a week or so, so we shout them out
Yeah,
as well. But awesome, awesome. So, how was your weekend? How's your past week been since
it
we
was
met? Yeah.
good. It was good. I mean, other than getting the news that my mom wasn't gonna be flying in, and then we had to make the adjustments to her flights and things like that.
Mhm.
But I got to talk to her yesterday. I tried to FaceTime her a couple times today, but she has 8 children that's calling her. So
You're blowing her
eight
phone
children,
up.
probably who knows how many grandchildren, godchildren, adopted children. This lady always had somebody living in our house with us, so she was always helping somebody, always helping. Of course, my dad, allowed that too, but man,
Hmm.
she was always, had some family, from a guy I went to high school with to, she fostered some children even after I was gone. So I'm sure she's getting caught, and she, all of her church family, and so I'm sure she's getting called. I don't take it personal.
Yeah.
I'm still her baby as far as I'm concerned.
You're the
I might
first, right?
I might be her oldest, but I'm her baby. So no, I don't mind at all. But other than that, no, we had a great weekend. Got to hang out with some incredible friends. The friends in my life at this point in my life is so there was a good portion of my life where I had to be on all the time.
Hmm.
And don't get me wrong, I don't I think that's just a privilege God allowed me, but it's pressure too, because certain groups of people I had to be on. It's almost like I was mentoring all the time, or I was listening for cues or something like that. And
Yeah.
I don't know, it's the friends I have, the friends I guess I'm choosing to spend more time with now. Yeah, it's effortless. It's my wife asked me. She said she was talking about a specific couple. She said, "Why you like hanging out with them?" I know you. I know why I like to, and you've asked me that because I always ask. I don't want it to be fake. I don't want it to be phony, and also I don't want it to be fake and phony with them. So
Hmm.
that they're trying to prove something to us, or not that we're somebody to prove something of. But I just don't want that. I don't be you.
Yeah. I love that.
unapologetically you, and let me deal with that. Can I just deal with that, and we'll converse over that? Let me just, because that's what I want to be. I just want to be me.
Yeah.
And this particular
Nah.
couple accepts us that way anyway, and because we've known them for some years, but we've just been hanging out with them a lot more. We're hanging out at the beach with them. We went to dinner with them. We like hanging out with them. I noticed we make effort to hang out with them.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Like we think of it. Like, hey, let's invite, that type of couple. We have several couples like that, but we have the other couples in our life like that too are being pulled in other directions just like us too. So
Yeah.
yeah, so
It's
we don't,
harder.
but I'll get to hang out with some one, two, three, four great couples this coming Saturday who
Nice.
are super dear to me. In my heart, it might be one couple missing from this group. It's a specific group, but
Mhm.
because we're all friends. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
That's
I'm
cool.
really looking forward to it. And it looked like, according to the, one of them's a super planner. My wife and I, we just get up and, hey, you want to go to that? All right, let's
Yeah.
go. One's a super planner. So it's like, hey, we're going to meet at this time. We're going to do this. And then we're going to go do this. And then we're going to go do this. But it looked like we're going to be together all day, which is super cool. So,
That's awesome.
yeah. But what about you? How was your weekend? And how are the kids? I know you are having birthdays right now. Like,
Yeah. So the kids were last month, right? We celebrated them, and yeah. So last week, I think it was Wednesday last week, right? They had me dressed up like a princess and go take
I
pictures
saw
outside.
those pictures.
Yes. So um
Awesome.
yeah, I was like super uncomfortable. It was like hot outside, and I'm in like a formal dress and some heels and some lip gloss, taking pictures with my babies. But almost anything for them, right?
Yeah.
Um, they were trying to convince me of a labor. I'm like, no, y'all go dress up like princesses. And then the baby came to me, princess. And I'm like, all right. So we did it. It was kind of cool. Got a lot of feedback, and they love that. So July overall was like a good month. I got to travel some. We celebrated their birthdays.
Yeah.
um just I feel like I'm living, like finally living, right, being able to enjoy life. Like there's not all of this hustle and bustle. Like I'm setting my pace and I'm running my race, and I don't
That's
feel
good.
like I'm having to compete. And then
That's
I also
good.
had to do some work this weekend. I got up early Sunday morning, like 5 o'clock, and I wanted to lay back down, but I'm like, no. And so I was able to get like a lot of stuff knocked out on Sunday. And then, my daughter and I played Jenga that
I love
afternoon.
that game.
Right? She does.
I love that game.
It gets monotonous for me. I'm like, I need a game with strategy. I mean, it's strategy to Jenga, right? But yeah, I don't think I like the noise of the blocks falling down, right? Like every 10 minutes, like,
A buddy of mine, actually the couple we hung out with this past weekend, he made a set, a life
mm.
size.
Oh, wow.
So you have to stand up to do it. Like you have to. These blocks they're blocks. Like
Yeah,
so, try
that's
pulling
cool.
out one of those real nice and easy, sticking it on the top, and each one of them way different. Just because
Oh,
it's yeah,
handmade. That's cool.
that's cool. What I loved was you took I know unorthodox, right? Plus it was hot last week, right? But your daughters wanted to do that, And one of the things I pride myself on, maybe not with my oldest, she's 27. All right, so my immaturity showed there. But I definitely took the time to play tea party, play dress up with my girls, um, and I love that I did that I didn't
Hmm.
worry about who thought what. I'm not a small guy. I don't know if people can tell in these videos. I'm not a small guy by no means. I'm 6'3". I'm 250 pounds. Probably was 230 when they were little. But I always sat down in those little bitty chairs in their room. They had these, decent sized bedrooms, and so they had these little tea party sets in there. And I sat down and I did the stuff and I rolled around on the floor. And I'm so glad I did We'll
Yeah.
be coming up on our baby girl's birthday. She's in heaven, but she would have been 15
Mm.
this, the 12th of August. So, and it's been some kind of an emotional time for our family as well, because we're thinking like, wow, she would be 15. What if she be like, and how would that,
Yeah.
what would that look like? And oh my God, would she still have that attitude? And we're dealing with one teenager. What if the other teenager was
Oh,
actually here, and what would that be like? And so, but I'm so glad I took the time. I'm so glad that a mentor of mine back then told me. He didn't say specifically those things, but he used to say stuff like, "Hey, they're going to be 3 and 5 once. They're going to be
hmm.
3 and 4, 3 and 4 once." And I took that. So
Yeah.
I'm so glad I did those things, and I'm glad you did too. You're living,
Yeah.
and coming from a guy who's built a business for the last 30 years, one of a lot of times you don't regret what you do, you regret what you don't do.
Yeah.
And I was grinding so hard, right? We look back now 20 years, and some parts I wasn't living. There's
Yeah.
things I'm doing now we had the freedom to, but we just weren't doing,
Yeah.
and I wish I had done them. So I don't regret the fact that I grind the way I did. What I regret is not taking the time to enjoy the journey a little bit more.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's good
Yeah.
stuff.
So I'm glad we're going to talk about this education piece, because some of the times, um, I love I love my level of education,
Hmm.
um, and I love the way I earned it. So
Nice.
I'll let you get into it in the and the earning.
Well, yeah. So, it takes me some time to come up with the topics because I want to make sure that we're adding value. And so, for those that are watching or who may watch this in the future, definitely share with us some feedback. Let us know in the comments if you're getting value out of this, what you would like to learn more about or hear more about, and so we can definitely incorporate that. We're going to be going through this series through the end of the year, right?
Yeah,
So we have a lot of topics we can cover from E to Z, right?
yeah.
So today's topic is on earning an education. And I was thinking about this topic today as it relates to a quote by Jim Rohn. I got to bring him up, right? He says,
Nothing wrong with that.
formal education will make you a living, but self education will make you a fortune. All right. And I know many of us have heard the term you go to school, get good grades so you can get a good job. And that worked for an era, right? Another E word, right? It worked in a certain era where that worked, right? And the more education you got, the more you could expect to earn and things like that. And maybe the cost of living was more comparable to your earning. You could have a decent, house and a white picket fence, and 2.5 kids and a dog, and live a decent life. But the economy, maybe that should have been the E word. I was losing. I can, yeah, earning that. Right. So, but the
No,
economy, we'll bring all the E words back at the end. The
I can
economy,
mix economy and anything. Come on.
yeah. The economy has shifted to where education, first and foremost, isn't regulated to a classroom, isn't regulated to a college degree, right? You can get education anywhere. And so let's start off with this, John. Can you share with everybody your background, the level of education that you have, and how you've educated yourself to position yourself as an entrepreneur?
Okay. Little bit harder the way I did it than you can do it today, right? Because today there's so much information. As a matter of fact, I'm still being educated myself. So my background is I graduated, or sometimes I like to say I pushed out of high school. Uh, and so I have a high school diploma. I think they gave it to me because, they were just tired of me being there. And then I joined the United States Navy. And in being in the Navy, I used some skills I already had, right? But also, I decided 2 years in to become an accountant, I guess you would say, right? We back then we called it a dispersing clerk, a military pay specialist. So I handled the military's pay system, and paying the United States military, uh, well, specifically at the time, the Navy and the Marine Corps. And then I was lucky enough, I guess you would say, or worked hard enough, or applied myself enough that I was selected to be to move up the ranks in that, right? So to become a deputy disbursing officer and then a controller and auditor and things like that. So technically, I'm an accountant. I'm actually one of the 17 people that was part of a Tiger team back in the 90s to help develop and design the new pay system that the 4 branches currently use. So I
Nice.
was one of those 17 people, and that was pretty cool. Pretty cool. Matter of fact, I'm gonna be really honest with you. A lot of us didn't even know what the heck we were doing at that time because they just tasked us to do this, to come up with something, and we're like, part of us was like, why? We didn't realize that it was going to be something that would be launched in all 4 branches, because back then the different branches of service had different pay systems. We all reported to one place, which we called Defense Finance Accounting Systems in Cleveland, Ohio, but we didn't do it all the same way. And I'm sure they're still screwing it up. But I've been out since 2002, so you can't blame any of that on me now. But I served 10 and a half years in doing that, as well as some other cool stuff I got to do for the military, where I got to use my body a little bit more. But that's my background as far as that goes. And then I got recruited into the financial services industry. And I really joined the industry just because I wanted to learn how to handle my own money. I was 29 years old, 28, 29 years old. And I realized that I had made a lot of money in my 20s. I've owned businesses since I was 20 years old, but I didn't have anything to show for it. Like, my first wife and I divorced. We had nothing. And it looked really bad. And I knew there was better. I saw other people doing better. And when I got introduced to the opportunity to learn, didn't think I would be good at it as a career, but I knew I could learn something and grasp it and teach it to my sailors.
Okay.
So long story short, that's how that happened. I actually really joined the firm that I was introduced to way back then, just to learn. I thought I was going to stay in the Navy, so I did it part-time. But in very short order, I ended up loving what I was doing, loving what I was learning. But a lot of that training I took on to myself. So something would get introduced to the industry, and the financial industry is so vast.
Yeah.
There's always something to learn. There's nobody who knows it all, right? So all these gurus you hear on Instagram and stuff, some of them have some great knowledge, and some of them explain stuff totally wrong. I actually heard a guy explain dollar cost averaging, and the way he explained it wasn't dollar cost averaging at all.
Oh, wow.
But hey, I'm not here to correct them all either. So whatever, man. Right. So, but even me, I'm still. So you just heard I'm following some of those guys, right? Because they might have a niche in an area in which I don't. So how my career started was me reading books from Rich Dad Poor Dad to Think and Grow Rich. Because believe it or not, when it comes to finances, money, it starts in your brain. It starts in your mindset. It starts in the fibers of your being first. It's not money. The only difference between when I grew up in Chicago, I always heard rich get richer and the poor get poorer. First of all, that's not even true. The rich get richer, sure, but the poor even does better. The poor today isn't what the poor was 20 years from now. It's not even the poor to what they were 5 years ago.
Right.
Right? That's just how it is. But what I realized as I got into this industry very quickly too, the only difference between rich people and poor people is the way they think. It's not money. So I used to spend a lot of my time outside of the office, outside of training sessions with the company and all those types of things, outside of licensing, reading stuff that, quite frankly, it seemed like I was reading French. That's how crazy
Foreign it was.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, it was so foreign. But I was also getting licensed in the industry. So by me getting licensed in the industry, as I read some of those things, it started making sense. It started correlating. It was like, oh, okay, that's what that means. Okay, what the heck is a put? What the heck is an option? Right? And then what is an NAV? And all these different phrases. It was like, what the heck is this stuff? So most of my education, actually, heck, all of my education, right? People always ask me, and it's so funny. So many people think I have a master's degree or a doctorate. I really remember some people actually calling me one day, and they were having a conversation about me. 2 great men I respect a great deal, and they were just calling me, and they were out on the golf course, and they called me and said, "Hey, John, hey, real quick, man, me and so and so." I'm not gonna say their names on here because, anyway, and me and so was out here. Hey, where did you get your master's again? And I was like, huh? And they were like, yeah, who you? I could tell they had me on speakerphone. And I was like, I don't have a master's. No, we swore you had a master's. Where'd you get your master's from? No, I'm sure you had a master's. I was like, sir, I've never taken a college course a day in my life. And they were like, no. I was like, and one of them I actually did some work for them, so they kind of had me do a resume just to have it on file. It was like the second resume I've ever done in my life, third resume I've ever done in my life. And I was like, how did you not know that? Like, I've never taken a college course a day in my life. I'm self-taught. I went to the University of Adversity. I've been through some crap in my life. That's the degree I have, if you want to know. Right. So all of my stuff is through trial and error. I don't wonder if certain stuff work. I know it works because I already screwed it up. All right. So I got my nose bloody that way. So that's where my education comes from. And I'm still reading books on that type of stuff. I was just rereading Unshakable. I was just rereading it's gonna sound really weird. The new life insurance investment advisor. It was written back in the 80s, actually. Right. But it was some lines in there that I just kind of forgot. And I was like, let me hit that, because it's good to share that stuff with clients just so they understand stuff.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. So that's where my education comes from. I'm all self-taught, man. I don't have a degree. You got more education than me, Majida.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I have one more degree than you, but I don't know about more education. Because back to Jim Rohn's point, right? Self-education. Right? I can't say I've learned more in 36 years than you've learned in 50. I could have, but I know I haven't yet. So I got 14 years to catch up.
And his statement is true. It has made me a fortune. It's not made the fortune I wanted to make. But here's the thing with education, right? And I think we need to get clear real quick right here. Education isn't power. It's only if you apply it. It's many people in my industry who may have read as many prospectus as me or read as many books as me, but can they apply it? And can they articulate what they read to their clients or to the families that they serve, however you want to say it, in a way that that person can do something with it? Because if it just stays in your head, it has no value. There's no value to education if you're not doing anything with it. So I'm not impressed when somebody I have a friend who loves to tell me, oh, they went to Harvard, and they, right? When he introduces people, he introduces them that way. Right? The funny thing is yeah, that's cute, but they're not worth anything. So what that tells me is you didn't know how to market the education you had to the end goal.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I have another friend who's, he's done very well. And he's now going to go get a degree. Doesn't have a degree as I'm speaking. But now at 64, he's going to get a degree. And he's already done very well. Even me, I'm asking him, like, huh?
Why?
Right? I'm saying, yes, yeah. Yep, I'm saying it right. So 64, yep, doesn't have a degree, now going to get one. And he just wanted to say he did it. Okay? But he's got the results of the degree. And here's the deal. Because this is why he always asks me, why you never got a degree? And I said, well, I don't ever want to work for anybody. And for the fields that I would want to work in, what do I need a degree for? If I wanted to be a surgeon, there's probably some education I need to go get, right? If I wanted to be an attorney, maybe, right? Some education I need to go get. Okay, I got that. I'm an entrepreneur. I want to call the shots. I want to get my nose bloody, so I earn it. I feel it, right? Here's the deal: when you go earn it, you don't squander it. When it's given to you, it's just human nature, right? Slaves that earn their freedom, they ain't going back. They just not. right? But people who get out of debt easily because they got a big tax return or they got a stimulus check or they going back into debt
Mm.
because the debt wasn't a problem. It was a symptom to a bigger problem.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? So yeah, I got friends, but I literally got a friend who loves every time he talk about someone, right? References someone, not talk about them, but
Hmm.
references someone. He always got to tell me where they went to school, which I'm not impressed by that by no means, because
Right.
I know people with master's degree. I know a person with a doctorate who's a PhD. I'm not even gonna say it. It's let's just say it's bad. Let's just say it's bad.
No, I think that's a great point, John, because my background, I went to school for civil engineering.
Yeah,
Um,
you're an
and
engineer.
I have an engineering degree. I wouldn't consider myself an engineer.
No, you're smarter than them.
See, no, back to your point about marketing, right? I knew how to obtain the degree, right? Like it's 4 years, finish these classes, get a passing grade, and I was able to complete. But I think what allowed me to secure employment after graduation was in my interview. I remember actually interviewing with the owner of the company that hired me, and I shared with him that I worked 30, 40 hours a week while I was in school. So while studying, right, and so like those intangibles are, I think, really what allowed me to get the position, right? It wasn't that I had the best GPA. I had like a 2.46 GPA when I graduated college, um, but I had a strong work ethic and still do, and
That's
so
marketing.
that's marketing, right? Like that work ethic didn't come from school. That came from home, right? That was taught at home. And so that intangible supported me. But he can also relate to that. He's the owner of a company, but he hires people that are more educated to
He's an
work for him.
entrepreneur. See,
Absolutely.
entrepreneur. I don't know why people think we the smartest. We ain't the smartest. We just got the smartest people working for us,
Absolutely.
and we don't try to do everything. Like I got people who want to be entrepreneurs, but they think they got to know everything to go do. No, no, no. Create great relationships, find good people, right? Hey, Steve Jobs did not build Apple through him being the guy. He was not the guy. He was the best marketer.
Mm.
He could market when the iPad. Well, no, it wasn't even the iPod. When the
Mm.
iPod came out, he sold that thing like you couldn't live without it. Now look at y'all walking around with these iPhones. Y'all can't breathe. Y'all don't even know how to breathe without your iPhone.
They have like you could see how many times you pick up your phone,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like they have a little every time you pick up your phone, it can track it, and it's
I don't have
crazy.
an iPhone. Now, and that may sound weird, right? Because some people just they think iPhone, Apple, Starbucks. For some reason, y'all think they sell phones. They
Mm-mm.
sell coffee. They sell a lifestyle.
Yeah.
They actually got you believing you somebody because you got an iPhone 12. It's just a phone. Let's be honest. I mean, you can still text. No, we get to message. Okay. It's still a damn text. You know what I'm saying? It's still a message. That's all the hell it is, right? Oh, we could FaceTime. So what I can do. I mean, so we put too much, Starbucks. Oh, I go get the cafe, my blah, blah, blah. Man, I go to Wawa and get a 24-ounce for $2.11. I mean, and coffee, there is a difference, right? Starbucks don't have great coffee. I know what coffee's supposed to taste like real coffee, right? So they're in a lifestyle business. First of all, when you're patronizing something, do you know what business are they in?
Mm-hmm.
McDonald's isn't in the fast food business. They're in the distribution business. Everything they distribute, they become number one at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody's beating them except maybe Amazon now.
Hmm.
Real talk. If
Yeah.
McDonald's decide to start selling wings tomorrow, they become the number one seller of wings.
Yep.
We still got Buffalo Wild Wings. We still got Wing King. We still got Wingstop. We can still got. You see what I'm saying? I'm probably not even
Yeah.
supposed to be saying these companies' names, but that's marketing, right? So your education is the same thing. I'm sitting down with two people, right? I got Majida Bay's resume sitting here. I got so and so's resume sitting here. They both went to the same college. They both got the same degree. I'm hiring them for the same position. I'll even make it even fairer. They both females, right? But if I see on one that she got a degree from so and so, and this is what she's been doing for the last 4 years, is getting this degree. But I see Majida Bay had the 4-year degree, same school and everything. But she was also, it's also some other stuff on the resume. She was working here for the last 4 years. Oh, I want this person all day. I want this person all day. I don't even have to think about that. The only thing that can hold her up now is her attitude. No, real talk. Every time I've hired people, listen, almost every time, you hired them on what they could do, what their knowledge was, their experience. But 100% of the time, most of the time, you hire people based on what they can do, how they can bring to the environment, to the job. Okay, got it. 100% of the time you fire people, we don't fire them because they couldn't do it, or they couldn't learn it, or they were learning too slow. Normally we want to fire people for that. You know what we fire them for? Their character, who they are. So we hire you for what you know, but we normally fire you because of who you are. If you late all the time, first of all, that's not a traffic issue, that's a character issue. That's the facts. And then, hey, I come from a family that's habitually late, so I'm allowed to say this, right? They're habitually late. Like, it's you'll think it's a religion. You
Oh
serve that
Lord.
guy a lot better than they serve Jesus, right? Just telling you, that's the family I come from. But that's the real deal. And some of them might watch this later. They know I'm telling the truth. It's in your daggum DNA, and if you don't repent, you'll still be serving that God, right? That's a character issue. I've worked with people. I had people in staff, different businesses, not this business, right? In staff where, well, actually, I've had it here too, where they just brought a bad aura to organization.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I've always been taught never badmouth a team you're still a part of. Does that mean you part of the problem? So when I was in the United States Navy, as much crap as we have wrong in there, right? I ain't badmouthing. It's my job to help change that culture. So that's why I moved the rank fast. That's why I put myself in positions. That's why I put myself in positions that I had to direct open door to the officers in charge, and the division officers and the department officers. That's why I made sure that I had the work ethic to back it up. So when I walked into their office and gave a suggestion, they listened. Right? Another character thing for me, my last day in the Navy. Now, I don't know if any people on here know what I'm talking about, but normally people in the military, when they get ready to get out the military, they ain't working. And I'll be honest with you, we don't even expect them to, really. We call it roadie, retired on active duty. You leaving, right? Because we start taking away your passwords to computers and all kind of stuff anyway, right? So my last day in the Navy, March 30th, 2002, I worked all the way to 1700, 5 o'clock. I was one of the last people to leave the building. That was a work ethic thing. So what did that mean? Not only that, not only did my officer in charge appreciate that, not only did the chiefs, some of them thought it was weird, but it also made people want to follow me when I left. Like, I left and people were still calling me after I was gone. I'm out of the United States Navy. I no longer wear that uniform, right? And they were still calling me, right? Asking me about system stuff, asking me. And it was like 3-4 years before people stopped calling me. But I still obliged them. I still knew the stuff. I mean, you don't just leave a job like that.
Yeah.
Right? That's education. So you got to ask yourself, what is your education really like? Is it all books? Because just in case you didn't know, the stuff you listen, you watch, you get from formal education, normally the real world is nothing like that. Almost nothing like that. Unless you got some OJT, some vocational. It's normally never like the stuff you saw in the book. And I'm talking about even in the financial industry. The stuff I
Right.
do specifically, how I what it say under my name, life and financial strategist. The stuff I strategize, that is not in the licensing material when we get our licenses. I have to be creative because people got real lives.
Yeah.
They got real lives. They got real situations happening. They had and they saw real stuff happen in their family. Right? So some nice theories or by terminal difference and all those type of things. They're cute, and I know how to work them. I know how to strategize them. But man, you gotta. Hopefully, you get to work with somebody who actually has the knowledge and some hands-on. I'm getting ready to deliver my 19th death claim. 19th.
Mm.
Had a client pass away a couple weeks ago, a week and a half ago.
Oh wow.
Yeah, not fun, right? But glad I was there to help that family. Glad I'm gonna be there to make sure this stuff is delivered and things are taken care of properly, and the family's dear to me. So it's a fun thing, right? But I always think back, what if I didn't do all this? What if I? And now my wife jokes about it because sometimes she'll see I came to work like 3 times last week, and I closed X number of whatever I did, right? So I wrote whatever in business, and then she sees the commission I get paid on it, and she's like, because I will make in one transaction what most people will make in 6 months.
Mm.
And so, but I always have to even remind her, and it's my wife, mind you. It's her money. It ain't really my money. I don't even get to see it, right? But I have to remind her, like, remember, this is 20 years of experience. This is 20 years for me to learn that, to even be able to articulate that to the client, for them to understand it. Because I don't like my clients doing anything they don't understand.
Right.
You'll understand it. We'll come back to it later.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want you doing it if you don't understand it.
No, that's huge. I was listening to an interview with Ed Milet and Vivica Fox, and that's something she said. She has a career has to be built, and part of education, like you talked about, is experience, right? Like you can't just know everything if you've never applied it, if you've never experienced it yourself. And to that point, I want to kind of shift the conversation a little bit and talk about how, I don't remember exactly who I got this from, but I've heard it. It might have been Bob Proctor or what
Who knows?
else? What are those guys?
Jim Rohn. Who knows?
It's not Jim Rohn. Yeah, I don't think it's Jim Rohn because I remember that. But he said that you earn in direct proportion to the service you provide.
Yes.
And so we've talked about this before on this call about like you can increase your cash flow, you can increase your income. And I put in the description, the more you serve, the more you earn, right? And something that Eric Thomas says, he says, knowledge is the new money. Go get you some, right? And then once you get it, learn how to apply it and then charge for what you know. So I think sometimes people, right, even when they are looking at ways to earn additional income, through getting maybe some type of certification or some type of license or, even getting another degree, in doing that, add value, add service, right, or provide service, and you will earn in direct proportion to the service you provide. The more people you're able to serve, the more you're able to earn. And so,
Yep.
can you speak to that a little bit, John? How learning more has allowed you to serve more, which has allowed you to earn more.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. A lot of times for me, I can't speak for some of these cats that's out here now, but a lot of times I didn't even realize that's what I was doing. I was learning it for me. And I remember when I first started studying estate planning, right? Now, mind you, I'm not an attorney, but I'm a financial guy, right? And I knew at some point these things were going to come up, right? Especially with the tax laws of this country, right? So, because one of my big things is showing people how to keep more of their money, right? It's not about what you make; it's about what you keep. So I started studying that type of stuff, and sure enough, it was almost like everybody else likes to say the universe. I like to say God, right? So the universe, God, as I learned things, it was like because I was carrying an umbrella, he made it rain.
Mm.
So because I started studying it, clients were coming that needed that exact thing. I started studying disability insurance, right? First of all, I was just trying to figure it out for me. I'm self-employed. Hey, what happens if I can't speak? think about how I make my money is through speaking, right? Now numerous ways, right? What happens if I can't do that, right? So I need a health insurance, disability insurance. So I started looking for disability insurance for me, but I'm studying it, right? Next
So
thing I
you
know, people
understand
sit
it. Yeah.
across from me and now they need disability insurance. Just by me looking at their financial strategy, I'm like, because I'm not a salesman, I'm a financial
Mm-hmm.
doctor. I'm doing an X-ray for you. I'm doing a schematic. I'm doing a CT on your financial life, right? Now, of course, I can't help them with symptoms they don't tell me about, right? But if I'm getting all the real knowledge, now I can see the holes in their plan. Because most people are looking for products. They got stuff. They got a Roth IRA. They got some mutual funds. They got a E-Trade account, and now they messing around with Robinhood and Coinbase, right? And it's no plan. So they're building a financial house, but all the materials are just out in the field. And it's never going to look like a house. I don't care what they
Yeah.
say. It's never going to look like a house. Yeah, you're going to be able to pull some from some of that granite sometime, but it ain't going to never look like a house. That's just the facts. Right? Sorry, I know some people probably been pissed off that I said that. But that's just how it's going to be. Right? So in me educating myself, it put me in position to serve people at a different capacity.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's the cool thing. It's other people in my industry, specifically my firm. Because I have those knowledges and now they know I have them. Even people in the field refer the people to me because I know, not only because I have the knowledge, because I know how to articulate it and give it away. I can
Yeah.
speak. I can go speak to a room full of financial geeks, and I'll speak on their level, and they'll feel good. They'll have all their warm and fuzzy, and I'll say the big words for them. Blah, blah, blah. They're really impressed with themselves. I'm going to go to the bathroom and throw up after that. But seriously, I'm going to actually make myself throw up after that. Right? So I can go to the meeting and speak like that if they need me to. And I've had to do it. Right? And I've sit in brokers' meetings before, a big deal. Right? And everybody likes it. Sounds so smart. Cool. All right. That makes you feel good. Right? I always wonder what's the end game. Right? Even in my industry, people are, hey, you want to hire a contract? I get called way too much, right? Bankers like just call me. Everybody's trying to recruit other people from other companies. Go find the newbie, right? Leave me alone. I've been in this joint 20 years, right? But they calling me. I still getting calls, leaving messages. Hey, we just wanted to see if you're interested in an opportunity. No. In all honesty, not in the
No.
same field. Hell no. Why?
No.
Why would I? Right? I already know this stuff, and I know what y'all do, and I know how little. But they always like, hey, we're gonna give you a higher contract. I said, well, let me ask you, what do you think is more important to me, a higher contract or me making more money? They
Mm.
think it's the same thing, and it's not.
Yeah.
Why do I know that? Because I educated myself, so it positioned myself. So what's that doing for me? Now, you made a good point too. Once you have the knowledge, then you can market it, right? So you have the education. Now you can market it, right? And now you can be paid for the value you bring to the marketplace.
Yep.
Okay. I do very well. I cannot complain. I cannot. The Lord will strike me down if I complain. Okay. But in all honesty, I still don't get paid for it. I still don't. I don't know how to market my skill.
Mm.
As weird as that may sound. Yeah, I do some public speaking and stuff, but I know I'm not being paid what I'm worth because I'm good at my skill. When I'm in my zone, I'm in my zone, and I'm gonna have you go through so many. When I'm done talking, normally you're gonna go through so many different emotions. You're gonna laugh, you're gonna cry, you're gonna think hard, you're gonna be challenged, you're gonna be uncomfortable. That's what a great speaker does, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then so it's a lot of speakers who's gonna do that. Boom, we got that part. But then also, I'm gonna give you knowledge that you can actually go do something. You ever leave a meeting, you feel good, but you don't know what to do next?
Yeah.
Okay, I know how to give you something to go do. I'm gonna give you homework after we done.
Yeah.
Right? So now you're at least moving in that direction. And I notice I still don't even know how to market that for real. I'm gonna do a talk on Sunday. right? And this is kind of impromptu. A friend of mine asked me to do it, right? So I'm going to do it, and it's going to be X number of people's on it. And I didn't put a cap on how many people could be on it. And
Mm-hmm.
it's in the I'm in the East Coast. It's going to be in Pacific time, right? On a Sunday. You know I love hanging with my wife and my daughter, and I'm going to do it, right? Wow, but well, I know I'm going to impact those people, right? They're hungry for knowledge. They're hungry, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. So don't worry about me charging or anything like that. It's going to be totally free for those people, right? It's a specific group of people. This guy's inviting them, so it's invite only.
Mm-hmm.
But even me, I don't know how to. I said all that to say, even me, I don't know how to market that stuff for real, right? I to this day, because the financial industry, and probably I screwed myself. The financial industry pays so well. The other stuff is just like icing on the cake. When really
Yeah.
that should be another cake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of bad. I'm in a rock between a rock and a hard place. I probably need somebody to call me and say, "Hey, man, this is how you charge for that. This right. This is what you charge for 50 minutes, right? For the
Mm-hmm.
value that you're bringing. Because I know I bring value.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't say that arrogantly. Hopefully, people understand that I've worked with thousands of people. I've literally helped thousands of people at this point. I mean, 20 years. So let's be honest. Even if it's 1,000 over 20 years, I didn't really help that many people a year. Like,
Mm.
do the math. It's actually kind of disgusting, right? I've helped more than 1,000, but you understand what I mean, right? If we just did
Yeah,
20
yeah.
years, right, divide by, come on,
It's like 50
that's
people a
all you
year.
help.
It's one person a week. That makes a difference.
It makes a difference, but damn, I could have helped 5 a week.
You know,
You
average.
see
You
what I'm
know,
saying?
the
Damn.
early years, you were still learning, right? You had to refine. So
Yeah,
yeah.
true, true. Now here's the cool thing. Here's the cool thing. I've helped generations now. See,
Mm.
when you do this for a while, you start actually seeing generations change because of the impact you made, which is really cool. Actually, it's kind of freaky too to actually see these children are now adults with children, and the stuff
Mm.
I taught their parents. Not only are they doing it, some of them are doing it better than their parents did it,
That's good.
and they call me Uncle John. And they're almost forcing their kid to hug me. Like, you don't need, I don't think any parent should force their children to hug anybody. They should
Mm.
feel the child. Now, most children come running to me. It's the weirdest thing. Sometimes it makes me uncomfortable. Like, why your kid so friendly with me? They just met me, right? You need to teach your kid to be a little bit more, right? But my wife says children know who they can trust, so they
Mm-hmm.
gravitate towards. And I think she's just stroking my ego, but it is totally weird. Like kids literally, and I'm a pretty tough guy. I like I discipline children. Anybody that knows me know
Yeah.
your
They
child
don't
get
play.
out of line around me and you don't do something, I'm gonna do something.
Mm-hmm.
But them children still love me. They still call me Uncle John. Now I'm getting
Well.
old. Some of them call me Grandpa John. I'm embracing it. I mean, I'm only 49, but I'm embracing it.
Thank you.
The good thing is, everybody who hears I'm almost 50, they say, you don't look 50. Somebody
Mm.
said it in the gym yesterday. I had to go to court with a friend yesterday. His attorney was like, "What? You're?" Because we were talking about working out, and he was like, "Yeah, I did 8 miles the other day." I was like, "Yeah, I got 4 in this morning." He's like, "What?" And then he hears I'm almost 50. He's like, "What?
Mm.
There's no way you're 50." I'm
Well,
married to
I
somebody
definitely.
10 years younger than me, man. I gotta keep up.
Mommy, I broke your phone. I'm sorry.
Uh-oh.
She was showing me that it was proof
What you break that iPhone?
that it was case proof and the case was working. She had put on the cement car and everything. I'm sorry. But then
Don't
she
worry.
had
Don't worry, we got insurance.
Oh. Okay.
Did they
Oh,
break it?
yeah, the screen's cracked. And you can't turn it off.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. Calm down. All right. I got one child handing me Oreos because she only eats
Nope.
the cream.
I totally get it. But hey, in earning our education, it's earning with education. However you want to say it.
Take this to care.
It's not really about the education. It's about what you do with it.
Absolutely.
And you could have a and everybody knows this is true, but sometimes certain things we just need to say out loud. How many people do we know who have degrees in a field that they don't even work in that field?
Right.
And then now there's jobs out there now that's advertising you have to have a degree, but they don't care what the degree is in. So you have a degree in lunch. you right? So it tells you education isn't really the power. It's what you do with it, how you market it, right? And take it beyond just that education. It's not about the education, y'all.
Yeah, I think I was listening to something earlier today, and it was saying that if you have, from your experiences, from your life, things that you've learned in life, and
Mm-hmm.
just take it in the other room. I'll get to it. Um, you have something that can benefit. He used the analogy of like there's people in their current reality, and then they have their desired reality, and your course, your solution is the bridge to get them from their current reality to their desired reality. And we all have
Nice.
something of value that we can help somebody, be that bridge for someone in some way, shape, or form. So we do it
Okay.
in the area of finance. But like you said, there are other areas. I know, in helping something that you do, with helping men, empowering men to lead their families, right? That's an area that you can be the bridge for
Yeah.
people, and so we're definitely gonna help you market that, right? Because I wholeheartedly believe that your skill set is unique, and you've added so much value to my life and so many others. And if we can find ways to market that and promote you in a way that, and I know that you always are going to like honor God like in what you do, right? Which is also part of why promoting that, you can do that with such integrity, right? Like it's not about the money for you. It never has been. It's really about the service. It's really about impacting people. And so, for anybody who's listening, right, if you know some good marketers, I know a few, right, we can connect them with John, put them in touch, so that he can provide that bridge to more people. He can market that skill set that's going to add value. And, of course, we have these lives weekly, right? So this is one way, right? We're just being consistent here so that we can definitely increase our exposure. So if you got value out of this, definitely share it with a friend. Tell someone, share it with a marketer that you know. And stay tuned. Definitely stay tuned and continue to follow us. Turn that off, please. Hey, Dakara. Turn it off, please, or mute it. Thank you. Um, so yes, this has been our ABCs of Wealth series, week 5.
Yep.
Today's show was brought to you by the letter E, earning, education, economy,
FT.
entrepreneurship, FT. Um, and we definitely want you to stay tuned. Like I said, we'll be doing this through the end of the year. Next week, you'll be joining us for week 6. The letter of the week will be F.
F.
So probably something with finance, maybe finance and family. Maybe we'll do that next week or something around that. We'll work it
We'll
out.
surprise you.
Yeah. So, any final words, John, as we wrap up here today?
Actually,
Anything you want to
yes.
share with our audience? Yes, sir.
Actually, yes, I appreciate that. Hey, I appreciate you guys listening to me tonight, and I talked a lot about me and my journey a little bit, but I want you to know I'm not a special guy. It's the thing that makes me special is I'm loyal. The thing that makes me special is I'm a great friend and I'm attentive. The things that make me special, but those are things that anybody can do, right? And then when it comes to my education, hey, I just took initiative, and I think that's a word we don't use enough, right? Initiative, right? We don't act upon it enough in so many areas of our lives, from our money to our education to our relationships. Sometimes we just don't take initiative, so therefore we're not intentional. And I believe anybody can do the stuff we're talking about here. Like, I'm not special. I suffer with dyslexia and ADD, right? So if I can do these things and stay focused for a period of time, don't get me wrong. I get off track too. I get off. Hey, I got to do course corrections often, right? But if I can do it, you can do it, right? And I promise your life will be better. If one thing will happen, you'll feel better about yourself, that you put the effort in, and your confidence will grow because you kept the promises you made to yourself. So I appreciate you guys listening to us tonight. Thank you, Majida, for always facilitating a great talk and coming up with this stuff. Really, I just hop on, but you do all the work, and it's an incredible blessing to have you in our family's life, and I really hope many more of these people get to experience not me, but really you and who you are. So I appreciate you guys. Let's have a great week, and let's go make a difference in somebody else's life in the process.
I love that. I love that. Well, we will see you guys the next week. As always, you can reach out to John or myself. Oh, nope, that's Jim Rohn quotes. Sorry. Wrong link, wrong link.
It's okay.
You can reach out to John or myself. You can get on his calendar, schedule a complimentary consultation, or with myself at the links below. So, hey, like I said, share this with a friend, like it, and give us some feedback. You can let us know in the comments if you watch this at a later time what value you are getting from it and what you would also like to see as we move forward. So, we appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank you again, John, for always being a voice of value for our audience. And we'll see you guys next week.
See you next week.